recorded. So for this video, we're gonna focus in on Leslie. We're gonna try to get her to work on a couple of things, make her aware of a couple of things out there on the basketball court. So she was reffing high school game at the continuation league at Popular. So I'm gonna rewind it just a little bit. Now we want Leslie to have a good finish with the mechanics. So when she does the 5-second count, we want you to chop it. We want you to look stronger doing it, if that makes sense to you. So we're really gonna focus in on your body language, your positioning. Even though the camera angle is not good, we probably won't get as much, but we're gonna really work on your presentation.
And as Kenny is talking about, as we're focusing on Leslie right now, this is focusing on all of us. All this information for all of us. He's just in the video right now. So all our videos is for all of our purposes, not just who's in the video, who we're focusing on. We're focused on all of us. Don't take none of this information like we're attacking you or nothing like that, because in the next 30 days, the season gets real hectic. Yes, AAU starts in a couple of months, couple of weeks. So as we told you guys, this is a fast-paced elite program. This is why we have all these trainings and things with Kenny and Kerry or whoever else, veterans, whoever. We give information. Don't take it as we just pouncing on you to get you upset and shit like that. It's just to help us all get better as a unit. Because if we're not gradually getting better, there's no point of people keep hiring us. You know? So, right.
What's up, Solomon? I'm glad he's here. So right now we're looking at the way you stand. So you're standing in a position that doesn't show strength. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna focus in on one of the games I did and my partners. I want you to see how the referees move up and down the court and how they stand, how they get from point A to point B. Fast forward it a little bit. So you see how the movements are real crisp. You see how the officials stand on the court. So I want you to focus on the official at the bottom here, because she's a female. So you guys will have similar movements. And she's a pretty good official as well. So now I'm going to stop it, and we're going to go back to you. Now as the layup is being shot, because we have a drive to the basket, instead of you standing there, what I want you to do is to take a couple of steps down and move this way. Move towards the play to stay connected with the play.
And the reason why he's telling you that as the trail, you have the ball. As an official, the trail has the ball. See a lot of games, you can tell when the officials haven't, or referees haven't been trained properly because you got the lead and the trail watching the ball. So as Kenny has that arrow there, and he's telling Leslie to drop here, right? You can't look at the distance from here. You guys see the distance from here to there? Yeah. That's a big gap. How do you see what's going on between the players like that? You see what I'm saying? That's why Kenny said drop down and stay engaged with the play. You have that play. The official right here on the lead has all this right here. Has those players. If the trail is all the way up here, how do you see what's going on? We can't. That's why Kenny is telling us we have to move and drop down.
So if I go to our court coverage, this will be Leslie. That's the trail right here. So as whenever we have a drive, say the one has the ball and he drives to the basket as a trail, instead of standing here, I want you to step down and get connected with the play. So it will give you the better angle. And then when you do make a call, you're going to call a call at half court, and the coach is going to say, how can you see that from half court? And what the coach is trying to communicate with you is that you're too far away. But you want to communicate to the coach that I know what I'm doing as an official. I'm in the proper position. So that way he doesn't have the opportunity to question your ability as an official on the basketball court. Because when the coach starts questioning your ability, that's when you have to give him warnings, technical fouls, and it's going to make the game a lot rougher to officiate because you're dealing with a coach who doesn't really understand officiating. He's just upset because you're just too far away. So let's go back to it. Now you see Will does a great job. He has his 5 seconds count. So one thing is Will's got to do, since we're at Bushrod or you're at Poplar, you're at small courts, you don't want this defender to be right on the throw, and you want to at least give him 3 feet. Then if he reaches over the boundary line, you want to blow your whistle, tell the player you can't break the boundary line, and then tell the table that you have a delay of game warning for that, if that happens. Another thing Will has to do when he gives him the ball, you see this matchup right here. So he has to move backwards, a couple of steps back, where he can see this matchup as well as this matchup right here. Because you want to have all the players in your vision. Does that make sense to everybody? So when we had this drive to the basket, it's important that you always move in and you anticipate what happens next, because now we have an immediate drive to the basket. So Will's going to have to clear all these players and step down, almost top of the three-point line extended to get a good look at the drive to the basket to see the back end, because there'll be stuff on the back end that the lead won't see, even though the play is right in front of the lead official. So if there's any kind of contact, that's when Will might come with a secondary whistle to get that call.
Me and Glenn actually had a play like that yesterday. Oh, yeah. Remember? Player drives to the basket like that, just like that. Yeah. And the defender stuck his whole backhand in his player's back. Glenn didn't see it, but we've had I believe it was a double whistle. The players were talking about jump ball, but that ain't what happened. I saw the player push his hand in the back. Glenn saw the other player reach around and grab his arm. I couldn't see him grab his arm, but it was right in front of Glenn. And I saw him pushing the back first. They wanted a jump ball. Glenn said nobody had a hand on the ball. He had a hand on his arm. I had a hand on his back. So that's what Kenny is talking about on the back end, even though it's right in front of the lead.
Would you still call him if it's in the same in his area? Like let's say he pushes in the back, it's like in front of the basket, but you know how like it's like a highlighted area where the lead and the trail call fouls. Would you still call it even if it's
That's the gray area. Okay.
Yes, it's a gray area.
Okay.
That's what Kenny is talking about. You gotta help your partner out. I should have stepped down more. Like you said, to that 3-point line. I actually should be like right here somewhere. Right, Kenny?
Yep.
I should be there to see that. Even though I'm a veteran official, I kind of get I ain't gonna cheat, but as far as teaching purposes, I'm glad he brought that up. I still should be down there. Because if something is going on, I should be able to help my partner out, which is Leslie at the time, on the back end, even though nothing happened at that particular play. But stuff do happen. If you're not in the right position, how do you help your partner out? It's about getting the call right and being there for your partner. Because if your partner is small or short like we are, most of us are, they can't see what's going on the back end. Somebody could be grabbing somebody's jersey back there. Somebody could be chucking somebody back there. So, yeah.
So now we're going to focus in on Leslie. Now you see how you walked up the court, even though the pace is slow. This is what I want you to do because it will add more energy to your officiating. It'll make you look better. So right now there's no immediate ball pressure, right? So you don't have to keep your 2-2 and stay even with the ball. You can let the offensive player dribble up the court and then jog to catch up to the player. So instead of you being here, let's say you're further back here, and then you begin your jog, and now you're even with the player. So now, at this point, as a trail, you're out of position because one, you're in front of the ball, and it's hard for you to get a good angle. So what you got to do is you're going to have to move onto the court. And by moving onto the court, if we go back to our court coverage area, right now the ball's over in this area, and you have this player guarding. And you may even have players in front of you, so you may have to come here to get the angle. You just got to move onto the court as opposed to being right here because you're in front of the plate. And as the ball gets swung, you're going to be out of position. So you always want to be in position to see not only what's happening now, but also what may happen next. So right now, as you back up, instead of turning your whole body away from the players, I want you to keep your square shoulder with the players, so you always have the players in your vision. Because when you turn your head, all you can see is these two players. You can't tell what may be happening on the back end of the play because your back's turned to it. And then again, we have another drive. I want you to stay connected and move down. It will help you with the play to the basket as well as any rebounding action that may happen.
Oh, one thing I want you guys to work on. If that ball goes out of bounds, do not chase that ball. That's the player's job to get that ball. Leslie just turned her back. So that thing look. You just left me with all 10 players. That is very unsafe. If you do that to your partner, then you guys know why.
They could be social.
Go ahead.
They could people your partner can't watch both.
Okay. Say it again.
They could start fighting and they stop before that.
You wouldn't see what happened.
True.
And all you'll hear is, ooh! You turn around and the other player's laying on the floor. You don't know what happened. You can't stay hitting because you didn't see it. All you know, you got a player laying on the floor. Turn your back.
Yeah, so as you can see in that video, I'm watching. Nothing's going on, but we don't want to take that chance. Let those players go get that ball. Because if something breaks out, we in trouble. Like we had a situation
The last game.
the last game, but we were right there. We were both paying attention. We both got in there. If that happens right there, I'm by myself.
Yeah.
Your partner's by themselves. Don't put your partner in those situations. Right? So let the players go get the ball. We pay attention to what's going on that court.
So when you give the player the ball, you want to give the visual 2 shots and then bounce it. Don't bounce it with one hand. Give it nice, whatever you're comfortable with. Bounce it nice and firm to the plate. You see how quicker the pace was as before, but you're still behind. So this is a good time. It looks like they're going to press, so you may even move on to the court to get a better look at this matchup right here. But then as the ball is being passed away, you will come off, and then he's going to sprint, and you should be sprinting with the dribbler of the ball, maintaining that angle, because there's actually good amount of defensive pressure right here. We want you to maintain that open look. So now the ball is caught. Another thing I want you to work on is your 5-second closely guarded count. So dribble. First he catches the ball, you got a 5 count. Once he starts dribbling the ball, we're going to switch hands. We'll have another 5-second count. And if he picks up the ball, we're going to have another 5-second count. So I want you to get in the habit of always having a closely guarded count.
Question. Do you guys know when the closely guarded count starts? 6 feet or closer, that's when the 5-second count starts. When does the 5-second count stop? Correct. Players dribbling, that count doesn't stop. So that offensive players playing with that shoulder defender. So that player can still be dribbling, you still counting. He can go towards the defender, still counting. Until that shoulder breaks that defender, there's still a count going on. Right?
So another thing I want the newer officials to get better at, I want you guys to get better at switching. So today when you're out in the court, I want you guys to switch. So that way, since we're filming you, I'll be able to see what you know and what you don't know, and I'll be able to teach it to you.
And next week we have the break next week, and the following week you guys will be mic'd up again. Right?
So when you give the player the ball, you're gonna have your hand up, and you're gonna count, then you're gonna chop. I don't think you have a chop hand working.
All right. So you see what he's talking about with your hand chop? Back that up, Kenny. So when we hand the player the ball, our chop hand should be up. So you hand the ball, you step away, like 3 feet or 2 feet to the side of it. You hand the ball, your hand should be up like this. You hand the ball, then your count starts. Once they throw it in, chop. That's what starts the clock. All these mechanics are talking to our table, our score table people. Stop the clock, start the clock. Stop the clock, foul, start the clock chopping. All these mechanics are telling the table what to do with that clock. That's why it's very important for us to do it. Right?
And your mechanics are also communicating to your partner. So let's say we have a throw in, there's a pass that goes out of bounds, and I'm unsure if the ball is touched or not. If I know that you chopped your hand, I know somebody touched the ball, so now that will help me make my call. But if you never have a chop hand, then when it's time for you to make a call, I'm not gonna look as confident because my partner need to give me the right information to help me. That's why it's always important to show good mechanics. So now we're gonna go to this right here because we're gonna help out Leslie in transition. So the ball is on the far side of the court. Now during this play, Leslie, she has a bad habit of hugging the sideline right here. So I want you to get in a better habit of moving onto the court. This will give you a better angle of the players with the ball as they move in transition. Does that make sense to you? Just move onto the court, and if the ball comes towards the middle, then you could come from here and move back to the sideline. So we'll do one more possession, then I'll go to a different game. Let's go to a different game. Since we got Solomon in the house, we're going to focus in on Solomon real quick. And it'll be a better camera angle as well, so we'll be able to talk about more. Yep. So we had 6th grade. It was me and Solomon. So I'm going to stop it here for the jump ball. What are the referee's responsibilities?
You talk about extending sides, which way is going, which way.
Yeah, when we have a jump ball, what's my responsibility? What's your responsibility? Let's start with yours first.
short drafts.
So you want to make sure we have 5 players from each team on the court. We want to make sure they're properly equipped to play. Make sure nobody has any illegal equipment on.
Oh yeah, before I get into
Mhm. Then we want to make sure I have a good toss. Then we're going to make sure the arrow is set, and we're going to make sure that the time is started. So did you notice that the clock didn't start when you ref this game?
I don't remember this like yeah.
Okay. And so this one, the clock never started. So it's the trail's responsibility to set the arrow, then I'm going to look at the clock. But there'll be times where you're working with a least experienced official who won't check the clock. So if it's, say, to start overtime or to start the game, and the clock's not started, and we need the clock to start because it may determine who wins or loses the game, then the officials on the court have to be aware. Because of what happens if you're working with Leslie, she says, let's say it's 10 seconds, team is up by 1, they shoot the shot, they make it. Everybody looks up at the clock, and they realize that the clock never started, and the play felt like it took more than 10 seconds that was on the clock. Now you're going to have a problem trying to adjudicate what happened. But even if Leslie came to you with the information, you could say, you know what, I have definite knowledge because I had a 10-second count and I got to 9. Then the ball was swung to the teammate who made the game-winning shot. But that took longer than the time that was on the clock. Now you have something to work with, if that makes sense. So you always want to be aware of the clock.
And they add on to piggyback on that. If you know how much time is on that clock, say like Kenny said 10 seconds, you know you got a count of 10 seconds coming up the backcourt anyway while they go in the front court. If they don't start that clock, you can blow that, game's over. You have the ability to do that, but you have to have definite knowledge though. They never started the clock, coach, game's over. Right? If you don't, you just gave another team or that same team an advantage. Now they've got more time. So it's very important, like Kenny says, with trail, we pay attention to that clock. Some of these gyms are funny though, where you can't see the clock as a trail. So you and your partner should be in the pregame talking about it before the game starts. Hey, we got one of these funny gyms. Let's figure out who's gonna have a clock at the last possession, which is 35 seconds or less. If it's a girls' game and 30 for boys, I'm correct. Or if it's just no clock here, it's going off the straight game clock. No shot clock, it's going off the straight game clock. So somebody you guys have to come up with something in the game, in the pregame, to cover you guys' butt. Because those simple little mistakes we shouldn't be making, right?
So also note, this particular league, Corpus Christi and St. Joseph, that's that Fremont area, Mission Valley, for boys, these parents that are, the clock and table are parents. And this might be the first time or last time you're going to be on that table. So you've got a lot of inexperience on that table. And they're particularly paying attention to their kid on the court. So they may not see you shot as you're starting. So you got to make the mental note where you're at. They might not even start the clock. Just behind their minds, they're probably giving the advantage to their kid cheap or something like that. Or they'll start early so that there's an advantage to the other team.
So would you just blow the whistle and say, how has it started?
Right.
You could blow the whistle, or if you have definite knowledge how much time should be on the clock, then you want to put the correct time on the clock. So for you, you made a great foul call, but I want you to talk more after you made the foul call. So I want you to practice color, number, consequence. Black 20, block, 2 shots. Then you go to the table, then you report, or black 5, blue ball, inline, sideline. I want you to say what you have. Because there'll be times where it could be a block or a charge, and if I don't hear you say anything or do anything, I'm not gonna know what you called. So I may have a coach who's yelling at me about the call that you made. So I can't help you or help the crew if I don't know what you called. Does that make sense to you? So during the last free throw, what's the one of the responsibilities for the trail official?
I guess like I have to like counting the time for the free throw and also like do like look more down. So, like am I supposed to put my hand up or so that way when it's like flag or something.
Yeah, so if he misses the free throw, when somebody touches the ball, then you're gonna chop. So right now you don't have a hand up. So if he misses the free throw and the rebound happens and the clock doesn't start, it won't be the table's fault. It'll be your fault because you never gave him the signal to start the clock. And we can see that the clock hasn't started. It's still at 2:50. So now I want you to focus on your posture. Because as the ball gets closer to you in this situation, you see how it looks like you're holding your hand on your whistle. So you want to stand with a strong body posture. And as the play gets towards you, you start leaning. I want you to stand nice and tall. You did a great job of being wide with the ball. I like that as well. Because most officials are always too far on the inside and let the ball and the players get on the outside of them. So now they got players to the left and to the right, to the front and to the back. So when the ball goes out of bounds, whatever hand you stop the clock with, it's also the hand you're going to point with. So when the ball goes out of bounds and before you give the stop clock, you're going to have in your mind made up already whose ball it is and which way it's going. If you don't know, you could blow your whistle, put your hand up nice and slow, and then point. So when the ball goes out of bounds, you don't have to immediately blow your whistle and go up. You could take that extra second, think about it, blow your whistle. Okay, it's going to be blue ball. Blue's going that way. I'm going to use this hand and point. And there'll be times where you're going to have to pivot a certain way to point the right direction. Because you always want to have your shoulders and your vision in front of the player. So I'll back it up a little bit more. So in this one, you point it that way. So you're giving the ball the black. So you're going to use your left hand to go up with and point. So in this situation, you use your right hand and you have to point across your body. We don't want you to point across your body. We want you to stay opened up and have all the players in your field of vision.
One thing I was saying, all you guys have been improving. And that's a good thing. From you guys coming to the tournaments 3 months ago to now, all you guys have been improving. And keep showing this video so we can all keep improving. We all keep recruiting as a unit, we all keep making more money a game. Leslie just started doing the middle school league games. It's $50 a game. We start off at 25. Kenny starts off wherever he starts off. It's a stepping stone. But the more we show what we're supposed to be doing, because guess what? Kenny, myself, Lily, whoever's filming, we're not the only ones in the gym filming. There's somebody else in there filming us. They watching these films. If we're not showing our mechanics, they don't hire us back. But we show our mechanics, we know what we're doing up there, keep those contracts, I'll fight for y'all to get a raise. That Fremont League y'all doing, y'all got a $10 raise. It was 40 last year. It's 50 this year. So if they keep hiring us back, what y'all think I'm gonna keep doing? I'm gonna keep raising that shit up. So it's up to us as a unit to do these things that Kenny is talking about.
So right now it looks like Gold. You see how Gold is trying to reach in and make a play on the ball. You see how you're leaning, trying to get a good look. All you gotta do is step down just a little bit more, about right here, and you'll be able to see that alley in between the players. So you just always remember, drive to the basket, take a couple of steps down, stay connected with the play. So Gold has the ball, right? Now can we say that Black has the ball and we gotta change the possession here? Now it's important that we start our 10-second count, because if it takes, let's say, 5 seconds in this situation, and they take another 7 seconds getting over, you're gonna have a coach yelling at you for 10 seconds, but you never started a 10-second count. So just little stuff to be aware of. So remember, just take a couple of steps down. You want to be at least top of the 3-point line extended out here, as opposed to being behind the 28-foot line.
That's called being engaged with the play. So if you was to make a call from back there, if I'm a coach, like we here, you can't see that. We want to eliminate the coaches saying that to us. That's why Kenny's saying drop down, at least to the 3-point line extended. Coach can't yell at you. At least it looked like he was engaged with the play. All right? You guys understand that? All right. got 15 minutes to the first game start. Nancy and Solomon, y'all will start the first game. You guys can get dressed and get dressed. And we'll see you guys. I'll finish this story.
So I'm gonna rewind it, and I want you to tell me the call that you made. Hmm? Was there a foul?
This, I'm guessing not.
Well, that's what I'm asking. I just want you to tell me what call that you made, because as you move up higher and you deal with different assigners, like I deal with college. So if we make a call and the coach doesn't like it and he sends it in, then our assigner sends us the clip of the play. And we gotta explain what we did. If I can't explain what I did, and I want to keep working for that assigner, how am I gonna be able to do that if I can't explain what I call? So I'm gonna play it again for you. Because let's say the coach says your official called this, and I see a travel. I don't see any contact. And the coach says, why wasn't a travel called here? Okay. So when that happens, you want to make the call. Black 52 hit 2 shots, or even black 52 2 shots. So you want to give the color number consequence at the spot, so the players know what's going to happen next. Whether it be blue ball in line, blue ball 2 shots, gold ball in line. So now the coach can call out a play. He can coach his team. At this point, we have to wait for you to run to the table, report your foul, and then tell us where the ball is at. But all that time could have been used for the coach coaching his team. We want to take the coach's focus off the officials and have it on the game.
So they were reported twice at the spot and then go to the table and report again.
You're saying it at the spot. So black 52, 2 shots. And then you're going to go to the table. Black 52, then you're going to classify whatever the foul is. Hold, hit, 2 shots.
So basically what Kenny is saying is, when the foul happens, remember, we always tell you guys, stay there for a second. Don't just blow the foul and take off running to the table. Stay there. Black 50, that's yours. That's what you're talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
That way the coach can hear you, and he can tell his team what to set up a play. Black 50, that's yours. Who? Black 50, that's yours. Go. Now you switch, and your partner switching. You reporting. Your partner drops down. While we doing our job, the coaches is telling their players whether to line up for a free throw or line up for defense or line up for offensive play. That's what you're talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all understand that? Okay. We got 12 minutes to get the first game started.
Alright, I'm going to play another video, see if I can find it.
And as this video program grows, as Kenny said, the assigner gets a clip. That's eventually what's coming too. You guys will get clips on yourself. We're gonna start asking you guys questions as this program keeps evolving with this video. Right? So the first step here, as it keeps evolving, like Kenny said, he has experience by doing the college stuff. This is why we bring all this stuff here, to make all you guys better. I don't care what level you guys are doing, whether it's little kids, whether it's adults, whether it's college, all this stuff is to help us get better.
Alright, so when we go out in the AAU, you won't know which player is ranked this and that, but everybody else in the gym, they're going to know this kid's he's one of the top players from this state. This kid, he's one of the top players from this state. And they're going to want to compete each other to show who's the best. But they also like to take competitive to a little where they're a little more disrespectful and stuff like that. And if we don't do our job as officials, we're going to have problems in our games. So we're just going to watch some of this video right here. It just previews a little bit, but then it's going to start from the warm-ups towards the end of the game. So you're going to be at the table. You just got done officiating the AAU game. It may be 2 on, 1 off. You may have the whole court. But as the players are putting on the gear and warming up, we don't want them talking back and forth at each other because we don't know what they're saying. Like, clearly here, the young man, he's using foul language, something that he's not supposed to be doing. So when that happens, you could tell the player, you're not supposed to use foul language. You could tell the coach, or you could give the player a technical foul. What do you think would be best in this situation, Will?
In this situation, beginning of game, I would personally, if I haven't had this player before on this team before, I'm gonna use my better judgment. I'm gonna walk to the player. Hey player, you know that's what sports are like. You get a technical foul for that. And a good player gonna say, oh, my bad, right? And then you go to the coach, hey coach, I warned your player about sportsmanlike behavior. Now the coach is aware. Because the next time that player does it, any time in the game, he's getting that technical foul. Because as Kitty said, you don't want it to escalate. In the AAU circuit, it escalates very fast, regardless if they're ranked or not.
So you see the referees over there stretching, and they're oblivious to what's happening on the court. And they're going to wonder why they're having such a hard time officiating this game. It's because all of the stuff that wasn't stopped kept going.
But again, the thing is somehow pushing over there, they don't even know what's going on beginning of the game. This is why Tailor made implemented the pregame for every game on every level we do. I don't care if it's ABA, I don't care if it's college, I don't care if it's high school, I don't care if it's CYO, I don't care if it's a rec league. This is why we have that pregame. So we can set the tone of what's not going to happen and what is going to happen. No, we're not pushing a hard line and abusing our authority, but we do have to let them know what is acceptable and what's not acceptable when it comes to sports for life. If a fight breaks out, that's totally the official's fault that's not paying attention. Right? Because players are going to do what they think they can get away with it. Just like us as human beings. We only get away with it until we get caught, right? Same thing as a player. And by rule, you're not supposed to dunk in the warm-up. That's allowed. But in some of these high-level AAU tournaments, the national stuff, they allow them to dunk. You will know if the players are allowed to dunk by the kind of players that walk in. These players are like you want to roster. You know what kind of tournament it is, and then you know if they're allowed to dunk in the warm-up. Other than that, everything you guys are doing right now is no dunk in the warm-up. You got to be very accurate with that. You get your good ones.
don't overcomplicate your trade. Hey guys and gals, my name is Jason Bond, and I'm the founder of Officiate.
Yeah. Paul, see one thing about AAU, see how wild it is. Like an outside game came inside the gym. People wrapped all around the court. It was 8, someone with 20 courts in one building, 40 whistles going. It's not like high school. The refs are not there 15 minutes before the game watching these players, what's going on. If they was, they would seen all that trash talk earlier. So basically, what Tailor is trying to do, we're trying to do the full job of the physical. Keep an eye on those players. Pre-game, you probably should always use myself to watch these players before the game going on. A lot goes on, and you got a kid. Some players are dressing in the stands, some at the bench, some over here. They're everywhere. I mean, it's hard to really keep track of all that in that place. You got to do the best you can. Some refs out there figure they get what, a third of the price of a high school varsity type game. So they're not some of these refs that come in, they're not going to do a full job. They're not going to rotate. They don't care what the players do. They're just going to ball on the court. That's it. There's a lot of officials out there like that.
And this is why a lot of those officials losing their job too to Tailor made. Because you guys are out there doing what you're supposed to do. We haven't created nothing. We haven't reinvented no wheel. All we're doing is enforcing the rules that have been here over 100 years. And then those people that's out there with just a shirt on, like Terry said, for the money, they're slowly getting pushed out of the circuit. Because too many fights and stuff is happening. Again, it's so much film out there now. Let a fight happen on your court, I guarantee this shit gonna buy you. I guarantee it. You don't want to be famous for that. You'd rather be famous of Kenny filming you or Taylor Bates filming you showing what you're supposed to do.
There's 1,000,001 fights on YouTube for the AAU game. You got players picking up referees, body slamming them.
Soccer referees,
fans, parents, referees pushing parents, and fans started a riot. Referees started.
Referees fighting referees.
Right?
Huh? You want everybody to go out? Can I get 5 minutes? So right now the ref, they're trying to control the game by calling touch fouls, but the players are still getting each other's faces, clapping, and doing all that and sporting stuff. So right now he got hit with a technical foul, which he should have been hit a long time ago. So I want to say the game, it kind of slowed down a little bit and got back
There's
to
no
being a
such
real
thing as a
basketball
perfect
game.
letter. This is why I use Grammarly to check my work.
If I'm putting commas,
You get a game man, 10-year-old, man.
But the game ended up being real close. So as I got closer to the end, the intensity picked back up.
You gotta run your room, let's go.
I'm creating my website.
So have you ever gave anybody a technical foul at the end of the game?
No.
Okay. So there'll be times at the end of the game where a coach, he might have not liked the way you were officiated, and he's gonna have some choice words for you. So you have certain tools that you can use. I remember one time I was reffing a game. The coach ended up winning by like 7 or 8 points, and he wanted to talk about my officiating. Well, the jurisdiction of official doesn't end until the referee leaves the visible confines of the basketball court. So it was I think Alameda youth basketball where I was going to stay on the court for the next game, but I'm not going to let this coach keep talking to me and not get punished for it. So I gave him a technical foul for a sporting life, and he wanted to keep going. I said, Coach, if you keep talking to me in an unsporting manner, I'm gonna give you a second technical foul, and you're gonna be ejected from the game. So the best thing you could do is just leave and talk to whoever your league supervisor is. So basically, I'm telling him I will give him a technical foul, that he'll probably get suspended for the next game, but I don't want that to happen. So I'm trying to give the coach an option to just leave the game with you won the game, no harm, no foul. So there'll be times where a fight might break out during the handshake line. You may have to give somebody a technical foul or eject players for fighting or acting in a sporting manner after the game. So don't think just because the game is over, you could just leave the court. There may be some issues that you may have to resolve on the basketball court. Other than that, that's all I got for now. So
You be lucky, because Will doesn't take